So here we have our outline for our one-lane bridge. So we already had our west side of the bridge fully wired with our ultrasound, our servo, and our LEDs. So for the east side of the bridge, we need the same thing. We've got our east servo, east ultrasound sensor, and our LEDs. So using the same format as we did for the west side, we need to wire our east side. But these are going to be our new pins over here. So our ultrasound trigger goes into A2, our ultrasound echo goes into A1, our servo into A0, and then our red, yellow, and green LEDs go into 13, 12, and 11. So go ahead and try the wiring on that. If you get stuck, look at what you did for the west side and see if you can figure out how to wire the east side from what you did before. And then the code for the east side is going to be very similar to the code we already have for our west side. The one thing we need to change to this code is a safety check, right? Because right now we're only looking at our west side of the bridge. But what happens when we have a car that's close, right? That's in our else statement. This is when we turn our light green. We also need to double check before we turn our light green that our east side is not green, right? So if our east side is green, and then we turn our west side green, then both sides are green, and we'll have a car crash. And then you'll be fired as an engineer, and that won't be fun. So we're going to need to add in another check. So we're going to add in another if statement. So remember, this else is if our car is not 36 inches away, not greater than 36. So if our car is less than 36 inches, so less than 3 feet, then we need to double check that our east light is red, right? So just like we have our west light variable up here for our west side, either 0 meaning red or 1 meaning green, we're also going to create an east light variable. So when we have a car that's close on our west side, we also need to double check that our east light is equal to 0. Right, our east light is 0. So I'm going to go ahead and add in a comment so I know what this does. So this is just a safety check. So safety check. So make sure our east side is red. So if it's green, then we can't turn our west light green. Otherwise, again, both will be green. No good. So that's the only change we need to make to our west side of our code. Then we need to program our east side. Right? So we already have our west programmed. Awesome. Now we need to do the east side. Remember, that's going to be the exact same thing, right? Same structure. We want our west side to perform just as our east side does. But we have our east side in different pins. Right? So like our west side ultrasound sensor, we've got in like A3 and A4. But our east side, we're going to have an A1 and A2 to change the pin numbers. So we're going to go ahead and open our code again. And we can go ahead and duplicate this whole thing. Right? So remember, we can just hit duplicate, and then we'll have the copy of what we've already done, so we don't have to redo it already. And we're just going to go ahead and bring it down to the bottom. And you're going to need to create new variables and match your pin numbers, but give it a shot. Try and program the east side of the bridge. And remember, if you get stuck, it should be just the same as your west side with different pin numbers, but same structure. So go ahead and try that. And then you should be able to simulate it and see if both the east and the west side are working on your bridge.